Hey everyone, before we start the video properly today, we need to talk. Today we're covering Low Tide City 2023, but so very unfortunately there are no VODs available for this tournament on YouTube right now that I could use for this tourney. Yes, there are multiple 12-hour long Twitch VODs on the BTS Twitch channel. However, I physically cannot download the entire 12-hour long streams on my computer, and screen recording is not an option either, as it would simply be unrealistic for me to fish through 12 hours of footage for one set I'm looking for, screen recording the entire thing, and then rinse and repeat for the 20 or so VODs that I use for each video. If I did all that, this video would be releasing on Thursday, a week from now. So instead, I'm just going to use relevant VODs for each player I cover. I really hope you all understand, and with that out of the way, let's start the video properly. Hey, so remember when I said in Thursday's video that I'd be covering Honeypot 5 the Honey Heist in today's video? Yeah, well, about that. Low Tide City 2023 happened this past weekend, and it was the biggest tournament closest to the absolute insane tournament that will be Battle of BC 5 this next weekend. Players from all over the world flew out to test their skills before the upcoming major. How did they do? Today we'll be going over the top 8, their bracket paths, and how they played. Let's get started. Now, normally we start with our 7th place finishers, but I'm going to take a small moment beforehand to fully expose my own bias and cover just one of the 9th place finishers at Low Tide City 2023, GamerDog. GamerDog is a Rob player from Kansas, my home state, and is one of the best players in the SoCon region of Kansas. He was also voted into the Midwest Ultimate Invitational, which will happen on June 16th, and which you better believe we'll be covering when it happens. At LTC 2023, GamerDog was the 68th seed, but ended up with an astonishing placement of 9th. This is an SPR of +6, an amazing performance from GamerDog that included wins over many, notably including Skits and Pelka. GamerDog would lose to Beastly and Johnny for 9th, both players who made top 8, and 2 losses to absolutely not be ashamed of. Yes, I am covering GamerDog because they're from the same state as me, and no, I am not apologizing for being biased. My video, my rules. Now let's move on to our 7th place finishers. Our 7th place finishers at LTC 2023 were Johnny and Teaser. Since we mentioned him already, let's start with Johnny. Johnny only had one streamed set of the tournament, his loser's 8th set against Meister, in which he started Ike before going Crom and then into Lucina. But Johnny is also very well known for his Sephiroth and Roy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Johnny is a sword main and leave it at that. Johnny started off the weekend well, getting through pools flawlessly and making it through top 128 without being taken to a decisive game. Now in top 48, Johnny lost against Apollo Kage in a notable Game 5 set, bringing AK extremely close to being upset early in bracket, like a lot of this weekend's top seeds were. Now in losers, Johnny pulled off an impressive 3-0 victory over DJ Don, notable Steve player and Twitter legend. Johnny then got 2 impressive wins back-to-back, defeating Nico 3-1 and somehow defeating GamerDog 3-0, very unfortunately, to make it into top 8. Now in top 8, Johnny had an unfortunately early meeting with Meister in losers 8ths, a set that would not go well for Johnny. With a 3-0 loss, Johnny was eliminated at 7th, but considering his 18th seed, Johnny did exceptionally well this weekend. Now for our other 7th place finisher, Teaser. Teaser is a Georgia Samus main who had much more standard bracket path than a lot of our other top 8, with a much longer streak of winning. Teaser started off the weekend by sweeping his pool and top 128, only dropping 2 games on his way to top 48. Once there, Teaser pulled off an amazing win against Kage, winner of Cirque du CFL, which we discussed in this video here on the channel. This put Teaser into winner's quarters against a name you will hear many times today, Capitan Cito. Teaser put up a fight, but was no match against the Capitan himself. Teaser lost 3-1 and was sent down to losers, where he defeated Orex 3-0 to make top 8. Unfortunately for Teaser, he then encountered Shu, a player who went on a tirade in the losers bracket this weekend, and nothing was going to stop Shu from her continued storm. Teaser lost to Shu 3-1, being eliminated at 7th. Just like Johnny, Teaser outplaced his seed, placing 7th against their 11th seed. Now we get into our 5th place finishers, Beastly and Apollo Kage. One of these people you likely recognize, while the other you probably don't. Let's start with the one you don't know first, Beastly. Hey, wanna see a weird glitch? So Beastly entered an Ultimate and Melee bracket, and did pretty well in both, getting 5th in Ultimate and making the top cut in Melee, getting what I think is either 17th or 20th or something like that. He almost made top 16 is the point. This makes them the best player across both Ultimate and Melee performance-wise, and wildly outplacing their seed in both games. But the weird thing is that when I went to Beastly's Start GG page on this tournament and clicked on the Melee tab, it told me that they got first? At first I was like, whoa, first place in Melee and got 5th in Ultimate? But then I dug deeper and found out no, they didn't get first at all, losing to Mech and Pi DeWalta. So I then looked on the side and saw, oh look, I guess Axe got first. But no, because when you click on the actual bracket, you can see that Salt won, beating Lod 3-0 and Grant. Looking at the standings page, it seems like there is some weird glitch causing a massive tie for first place, and it's being sorted in some weird random order. I've never seen anything like this on Start GG, and I just wanted to share this craziness with you all. Anyways, back to Ultimate. Beastly got 5th as a 28th seed, an impressive placement that was caused by quite a few upsets this weekend. Beastly started off the weekend by sweeping pools flawlessly to make top 128. In top 128 and to start off top 48, Beastly made a back-to-back streak of 4 insanely impressive wins. He defeated Justin Byleth, Meister, Shu, and Gamerdog, all back-to-back in a row. 2 of these 4 are fellow top 8 finishers, but there is just one win that stands above the rest. One win that is so exceptional against a top player of this game. So stunning, so career-defining, that I cannot possibly overstate its significance. That's right, his win over Gamerdog. I mean, come on, what did you think I was gonna say? In all seriousness, this streak of wins is extremely impressive, and I can't overstate that enough. This streak of wins put Beastly in winner's semis against Mutace, and it was Beastly's time to shine. But unfortunately, Beastly lost the set 3-0 against Mutace, getting sent down to losers and losers quarters, where Beastly would have to face Shu again. In this set, Shu showed off an exceptional adaptation, with her 3-1 win over Beastly, Shu winning the run back and eliminating Beastly at 5th. Now we get into our other 5th place finisher, Apollo Kage. You wouldn't expect Apollo Kage to place this low, but let's get into how the bracket went for AK first. AK started off the weekend by sweeping his pool, as expected, before beating Toast and Renegade to make top 48. AK had a close call on his first set of top 48, getting taken to a game 5 against Johnny. AK clutched it out though, and went on to defeat Shattuck 3-1, an impressive win to make it to winner's semifinals. AK went up in winner's semis against Capitancito, and you'd expect AK to have taken this handedly, but you couldn't be further from the truth. AK lost 3-0 to Capitancito, being sent down to losers quarters to fight the demon of the losers bracket, Meister. And let me tell you, this matchup is definitely leaning in Game & Watch's favor. AK lost to Meister 3-1, being eliminated at 5th. An underperformance, yes, but AK lost to 2 people who are on unstoppable tirades this weekend. Now we get into our 4th place finisher, Shu. If you don't know who Shu is, you really should. Shu is a ZSS main who made her first top 8 at a major this past weekend, a statement that multiple people in the top 8 could make, actually. Shu started off the weekend by getting first, in the Steve Band side bracket that LTC was hosting at the venue that weekend. Interesting for sure, and she's only one of 2 top 8 finishers to win one of the side brackets. In the main bracket, Shu started off by sweeping her bracket before moving on to top 128. Here, Shu had a close call and an amazing win over Alternus, one of the 2 best Little Mac players in the world, in a close Game 5 set, before beating Kage in another good 3-1 win. In the first round of top 48, Shu lost to Beastly, who is the main reason a lot of these higher top 8 finishers started top 8 from losers. Now in losers, Shu defeated Z 3-1 before moving on to become one of the 2 losers bracket demons of the tournament. Shu got amazing victories back-to-back, defeating Pelka and then Shattuck, both in 3-0s in order to make top 8. Her win against Shattuck is especially an amazing win for Shu. Shu then made it into top 8 and defeated Teaser and Beastly, both in 3-1s like we discussed. Shu then went on into losers semis to face the other half of the losers bracket demon, Meister. This set was on. Just like the 2 sets before, it was a 3-1, but this time it was Shu losing to Meister 3-1, bowing out at 4th. Shu got her first ever top 8 at a major and picked up massive wins on the way, as well as adapting incredibly well and winning the run back against Beastly in the process. An overall fantastic performance. Now for our 3rd place finisher, Meister. Meister started off the weekend by getting first in doubles with his solid doubles partner Kage, a team that I think can certainly rival even MK Leo and MK Big Boss in not only skill but national representation. In singles, Meister won 12 sets this weekend, the most out of anybody in the top 8, and outplaced his seed in the process from loser's side, Meister having an overall incredible performance this weekend. Meister swept through his pool and the first match of top 128, not dropping a game. However, it was here that Meister lost to Beastly 3-1 like we discussed, and Meister was sent to the losers bracket. In losers, Meister became the second half of the losers bracket demon, tearing through the losers bracket like a man possessed. Meister had no time for long sets, starting off his losers run by getting 3 3-0s in a row on Spritzy, Toast, and Kage, before unfortunately having an early meeting with Kage, his doubles partner, who he eliminated 3-1. That's right, Meister and Kage fought for 13th. Crazy. Next up, to make top 8, Meister had to fight Keishi E-Boy, who is Syrup with another tag if you didn't know. This set would go down to the wire. Meister eventually ended up taking the dub, defeating Syrup 3-2 in a nail-biter set. Now, let me take a moment to address a bit of an elephant in the room. After this set ended, Meister called Syrup bad at the game and a bit of trash talk. Now, this has gotten people on Twitter very upset at Meister because Syrup, if you didn't know, is 15. Now, I already talked about this at length on my Twitter, so go follow me there if you want to see my full thoughts. But my last tweet on the subject pretty much summarizes my thoughts on the matter, and you can feel free to pause and read this or comment down below and give me your thoughts on the situation. Do you think this was out of line for Meister, or do you think people are blowing it out of proportion? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. No matter what you think, this doesn't invalidate this win or Meister's amazing performance over the weekend. Meister, after making top 8, swept through the top 8 matches we've talked about so far, defeating Johnny 3-0 and then AK and Shu in 3-1 sets. It was then that Meister went up against Capitancito in losers finals, a set that went down to the wire in a decisive Game 5 set. In the end though, Capitancito defeated Meister, eliminating him at 3rd. An excellent performance for Meister, and let me just say now, Meister and DeBuzz are the two people who I need to see win a major before Ultimate dies or Smash 6 comes out. It just needs to happen, okay? They've both been trying so hard for it. Now we get to our top 2 finishers, Mute Ace and Capitancito. Both players fought in grands, but one player was expected to be there, while the other certainly was not. Let's discuss Mute Ace, the one expected to be there, first. Mute Ace's run can only be described as a sweep. Mute Ace only went to a decisive game once the entire tournament on his way to Grand Finals, that being his first match of Top 128, where Mute Ace went into Game 5 against Anomaly. Part of me is sickly curious about how different this tournament could have been if Mute Ace had lost here. Mute then went on to sweep the rest of Top 128 and Top 48, defeating DJ Don 3-1, Murph 3-0, Syrup 3-1, and Beastly 3-0. This put Mute in winners finals against Capitancito, where the two had the first of their 2 encounters. Mute won against the Capitan 3-1, but Cito notably got a game on the board, suggesting the potential of a runback. Capitancito, on the other hand, started off the weekend sweeping his pool and top 128 without dropping a single game at all, much less having a decisive set. Capitancito's next set was also a 3-0, although this time against a much more formidable opponent, Kage. Capitancito defeated Kage, which means that yes, Kage lost to Capitancito and Meister for 13th. This was an upset win, as Capitancito was the 14th seed, supposedly being the one to lose to Kage, but turning the tables with his 3-0 victory. After getting a win over Teaser 3-1, the first time that anyone took a game off of Cito, Capitancito made it to top 8 winner's side, where he went up against Apollo Kage. Just like many sets prior, Capitancito won this set 3-1, making it to winners finals against Mute Ace, where he lost 3-1 like we just discussed. Dropping down to losers finals, Capitancito went up against Meister, defeating him in a Game 5 set, the only time in the entire tournament that Capitancito was taken to a decisive game by someone who wasn't named Mute Ace. After this victory, Capitancito went back up to face Mute Ace. With their second meeting, Cito was determined to make this time different. In the end, however, Mute Ace won 3-0 in Grand Finals, defeating Cito and becoming the champion of Low Tide City 2023. Mute Ace was the first seed and swept the entirety of the tournament, making his placing while only being taken to a decisive game one time throughout the entire weekend. Capitancito, on the other hand, was the 14th seed and seemingly went up against all odds for the career-defining placement this weekend at LTC. That's going to be it for today's video. Now, I promise that Thursday's video is going to be about Honeypot 5, the Honey Heist. I promise. Probably. Possibly. Maybe. Don't count on it. Until then, I've been Mr. Meister, and thank you all so much for watching.